Here is a tutorial on how to set up your assignment number 4 for your travel brochure. So I just went ahead and clicked on my folder down here, and you're going to go to this PC and click on the drive with your name on it. Go ahead and find your word processing 1 folder, and we are going to right click and create a new Microsoft Word document. And I want you to title this assignment number 4 travel brochure, and then just press enter. I'm going to double click left on my document, and the first thing we're going to do is go up to File, and we're going to go to New. Here we're going to search up brochures, and this is going to give us all the existing templates we can use when creating our travel brochure. So I'm going to go ahead and select one I want to manipulate for my travel brochure. Let's say I select this one. It inserts it on my page. Perfect. And I'm going to show you a few things. So the way this is set up, the first layer on top where all of my writing is, it looks like I can do it directly on the page. However, I would recommend that you don't do that and you go up to Insert, you go to Text Box, and you go to Draw a Text Box, and you do all of your writing in text boxes. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to move around on the page. Let's say you insert your text box and you want the color of the background in the picture to show up as orange rather than what it's currently showing as white. When you have that text box selected, the Format tab pops up, and from there you can go to Shape Fill and you could go No Fill, as well as you could go to Shape Outline and you would go No Outline. The actual text itself, if you're wanting to manipulate, is just to highlight that text. There's all these different options in here that you can play with, as well as you could go over to the Home tab. You can play with the size of your font. You can play with the actual font color, and you can also play with the font itself. So those are some options right there if that's what you're wanting to do. So when you're doing your writing, make sure you do it in text boxes. It makes it a lot easier. So that's the first layer, which is where all your writing is. To get to the pictures, it's in the back layer, and we have to go through our header and footer. So right at the top of your page, this is called your header, and right at the bottom, this is called your footer. I'm going to get you just to place your cursor over the top left and just double click left really quick. When I double click left really quick with my cursor at the header, it pops up my header. So this is where all these images are in the background, okay? So let's say I want to edit each individual component. So for instance, this picture, maybe I want to change the color of this banner. I don't want a different photo in here. There's a few things we have to do first before we can just start editing it. In our first assignment, we learned that we could group shapes together and ungroup shapes together, and that's what we have to do here. So with this selected, you are going to go to Format. So I have it selected, I go to my Format tab, and then I'm just going to go over to Group, and I would go to Ungroup. Now you can see once I've selected this Ungroup option, I'm just going to double click left here, and then I'll go back into my header and double click left again. Now it's broken up each individual component. So if I wanted to change, let's say, the color of my banner, you're going to select your shapes, and I'm going to go to Format. I'm going to go to Shape Fill. Let's say I want a nice light blue, and Shape Outline. And you would do this with each individual component, whatever you wanted. So that's the way you would edit your shapes. If you're wanting to edit the picture, so let's say there's this picture back here, and I want to get rid of it. I want to put a picture of New York in there. I'm just going to move it on over, and I can select it and hit delete. Let's say I don't want this blue background either. I can select it and hit delete. So I'm going to insert now a new picture, and I'm going to go up to the Insert tab. I'm going to go to Pictures, and I've already gone ahead and found one that I want to use that's in my Microsoft Word folder. Maybe I don't, so that's okay. I'm just going to go down here, right click, and found a photo I wanted, save image as. I'll save it into that Microsoft Word Processing 1 folder, and then it's there when I need it if I didn't have time to insert it. So here's my image. I go to insert, perfect. So it's on the page, but when I left click and drag, it doesn't move. So I have to make sure it's selected, so the format option pops up. When the format option is selected, I can then go over to position, and I'm going to maybe go to my far right. That's where I want it positioned. Now when I move this, you'll notice how it moves on my writing down, which we're going to talk about in a second. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to reposition this where I wanted it. And so let's say that this is where I would like my picture to be. As you can see right now, the way I have it, that orange background isn't laying over top. So we have to go and select that, go up to format, and we're going to go to this option here. So this is the layering, either bring forward or send back. We're going to go to bring forward and we're going to go bring to the front, which is perfect. There's another component that I also want to bring to the front, so I'm just going to shift my picture over so it's easier to see. I have that selected and I go bring to the front. Now I can reposition my picture however I'd like, and we're good to go from there. You can play around with where you want it positioned. Now, as you can see, my writing got moved down. And one of the things you're going to do is when you have your picture selected, you're going to go up to format and you're going to go to this wrap text option, and you want to select in front of text. So it's in front, and then all my writing will pop back up so that I can go ahead and edit it. So those are some options on how you play around with editing your photos and how you edit each individual shape. Make sure you ungroup them first. I'm also going to show you sometimes what happens is we create an extra page, and we don't mean to, but we get an extra page created, and it is a little tricky depending on what format you selected and what editing you've already done. So right now I've gone ahead and I've created a third page that I don't necessarily maybe want to keep. How am I going to go ahead and get rid of that? We are going to select right here our show our paragraphs. When I do that, this symbol right here shows that I have inserted a new paragraph or pressed enter. There's a few things you can do. If it's as simple as this, you can just hit backspace and it's going to delete that third page. However, sometimes it's not that simple. And let's say you have your third page already inserted. You can double click left on the last paragraph of the page you want to keep. Go up to the size of your font and just enter 1. Sometimes that will also let you delete an unwanted page. Just like that. So I'm going to attach another video on how to delete an unwanted page, and it goes into 6 other different types of techniques you can do, because it does depend on the formatting you've done to your brochure document or what formatting your brochure document already came with. If that doesn't help you and you have questions, please just let me know and I will come around and help.